10 more books I would recommend reading if you are a woman in a bad relationship, if you are a woman going through a divorce, when you've been in an emotionally abusive relationship, if you are someone who thinks you might be in an emotionally abusive relationship. These books changed my life. They were so eye-opening. And if you want to revisit the first 10 books I suggested that were also very, very, very life-changing, I'll link them in the playlist below. When Love Hurts, if you are wondering if you are experiencing abuse of any kind at the hands of your husband or boyfriend. I Hate You, Don't Leave Me, if your husband or boyfriend has displayed long-term patterns of unexpected, unpredictable eruptions of anger, suspiciousness, or suicidal depression. Why Can't I Just Leave Him, for understanding how your pathological partner is psychologically manipulating you from leaving your relationship. This is, like, if nothing else from this list, like, impacts you, please read this one. How to Spot a Dangerous Man Before You Get Involved, for identifying the 8 types of dangerous men and their traits, as well as strategies for safely escaping a dangerous man and avoiding others. This is my second most recommended book on this list. Fed Up, for understanding the disproportional, often invisible amount of work that women are conditioned to take on in order to manage the emotional needs of others, especially in romantic relationships. Emotional Labor, for understanding a more historic context of how emotional labor has become a woman's job in all parts of society, less so romantic relationships, but still touching on that. And then also understanding the nuances of emotional labor, especially when it comes to race. The Power of Now, for learning how to be present, how to let go of things, and how to manifest positivity rather than negativity. Going Solo, for a complete rundown of the modern movement from community to individualism in all things living alone. And finally, The Dose Effect, for understanding brain chemicals and behaviors to embrace or avoid to maximize mental health. I'm going to share a list soon of, out of all 20 books that I have recommended since leaving my cheating, emotionally abusive, narcissistic ex-husband last fall, have been the most impactful reads that I would recommend to you. I'm going to do like a top 5 list, so stay tuned for that. But if you are someone who is in a situation where you feel unsafe, you feel unheard, you feel unloved, you're considering going through divorce, you are going through divorce, you're embarking on being single for the first time in a very long time, I would very much so recommend reading these books in terms of both healing and figuring out how to best navigate life as a single person in a way that is going to feel fulfilling and joyful and is not going to have you spiraling, considering going back to the man that you left.